The most important advice I always gave young people during my time as president of Harvard was figure out something you care about and can be good at. Don't make yourself fungible. If you're doing something that 50 other people are doing because it's more comfortable for you to be part of a pack, the rewards to that are going to steadily diminish because you are going to be fungible. Figure out something where you've got some distinctive niche. And we're going to have to figure out in our educational systems how to help more and more people discover those kinds of attributes.
Another issue that I know you think is very important, which is this issue of inequality and the shape of the economy. My sort of journalistic hyperbole about kind of the dystopian possibility is maybe we're going to be divided into a society of a few geniuses who invent Google and iPhones and everybody else who gives them massages. How much are you worried about the economic forces pushing us in those directions, the gap that we're seeing opening up between productivity gains and wages, and what should we do about it?
I think it's the right thing to worry about. And I think there are troubling trends in the direction that you suggest, Christia. And I think you're absolutely right that the system will equilibrate. As economists like to explain, the system will equilibrate at full employment. But maybe the way it will equilibrate is at full employment is there'll be specialists in cleaning the shallow end and the deep end of rich people's swimming pools, and that's a problematic way for us. That's a problematic way for a society to function. I think we got to think very hard about making sure that there's competition in the activities where the leaders are leading, so that that competition, that success manifests itself in lower prices and not just in higher profits. And so making sure there's competitive markets and the reduction and elimination of barriers to entry is, I think, something that is very, very important. I think we do have to look at fairness in the way our tax systems function. Some of that is about tax rates. Some of that is about technical tax provisions, which are boring to listen to me talk about, but are hugely important, that don't even rise to the level of being tax expenditures on the tax expenditure table, but mean that the largest part of the accumulation of wealth and the passage of wealth from generation to generation passes almost with no taxation. And whether it's devices for avoiding the estate taxation, or whether it's the basic fact that the creation of fortunes takes place in the form of capital gains, which largely escape taxation and death, there is a serious tax reform agenda that has the potential to be very important, that's about provisions that nobody much thinks about. The carried interest provision that people have talked a lot about is the tip of a very large iceberg of stuff like it that lies under the surface, that ultimately I think is an agenda that can make an important difference in terms of equality. I think the other part of this, though, is education and the development of both the intellectual and the characterological traits that are necessary to have a distinctive niche in the world that is important if people are going to be able to maximize their opportunities. The most important advice I always gave young people during my time as president of Harvard was Figure out something you care about and can be good at. Don't make yourself fungible. If you're doing something that 50 other people are doing because it's more comfortable for you to be part of a pack, the rewards to that are going to steadily diminish because you are going to be fungible. Figure out something where you've got some distinctive niche, and we're going to have to figure out in our educational systems how to help more and more people discover those kinds of attributes.